Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We started playing that piece in January, and you couldn't even imagine what that piece sounded like when we started in January. It's come an extremely long way. That communication piece, especially without a driving percussion section behind that, it takes a lot of work and a lot of mentality. We as an ensemble learned that the piece that you just heard was probably the hardest piece on the program, even though it was nice and slow and rich. So they did a fantastic job. One more round of applause for them. Our next guest conductor has already been introduced, but I will take that time once again. In December, I was reached out by TCNJ if I would be interested in taking a student teacher, and I very, very quickly said yes. That's something I've always wanted to do, just to continue to further my education and see what I can do with now, I mean, me almost 18 years into teaching, to see what I can do with a younger learning teacher. So I very, very quickly said yes, and I could not be happier with this individual. He came in the first meeting we met, it was at the beginning of January, and he sat down in my office, and oh, man after my own heart, he took out a notebook and started writing a list. I'm a list guy. You saw me over there with my yellow legal pad. That sold me. So he came back the middle of March, and he started working with all of my classes. He spent a good majority of the time with this ensemble, and we really bonded over the piece that he chose, and I couldn't be any prouder of Keith and what he has done with this ensemble. From day one, he has tried to learn their names, learned as many instruments, learned good teaching techniques, and continued to improve every single day. He stood in front of this ensemble and all of my classes. I couldn't be prouder of him, and he is going to be a fantastic educator. So would you please help me welcome to the stage Mr. Keith So.
Is this still on? Hey, so I am Keith So. I am a student teacher. I am from TCNJ, and I have to say I am so lucky to have been placed in Jackson for both of my placements. I was over at Crawford Rodriguez, the elementary school in the district, and now I got to work with these fine individuals in Jackson Memorial. And these students, I have to say, have so much talent, passion, and even more potential. And I'm so excited to see where they go in their future. And I hope to keep updated and keep in touch with Mr. Diaz and Mr. Fiquera, because this program and this community is one of the best. So thank you so much. We'll be playing Rondo for Winds and Percussion. I hope you enjoy.
They're giving me a pep talk. One more round of applause for Mr. So. We all remember that first time you get in front of a live audience as a teacher, and it's an absolutely special moment. I remember the first time I stood in front of, on this stage actually, when I taught the Getz chorus. The same thing happened when I was at McAuliffe, and lastly, the same thing when I took over the program here. It's just an exciting feeling, and it's something that you're never gonna forget, sir. So I'm glad it was here. The kids played well, so congratulations to you. Lot of specials with this ensemble. This next piece is super, super unique. Earlier in the summer, one of my students, Matt Scorsese, just sent me a random email and said, hey, I'm working on something and I just want you to take a look at it. Can you listen to it? So I opened it up and it was a composition of his and I was dumbfounded. And I don't remember what the first one is because there have been so many since then. I'm going to say it was a trumpet quartet. Or maybe orchestral piece. I don't remember what it was. So I said, come on, man, keep sending to me. So every month or so, he would send me something and just whatever he was working on that day. And I've been blown away by his talent and his drive to learn how to compose. So at one point I said, come on, man, let's sit down and let's talk about this specific composition. I think I must have written for something for wind band. And so I sat down with him and we went through the entire composition. And I said, look, your ideas are fantastic, but they're not realistic. They're a little bit too theoretical, like this right here. This isn't necessarily gonna work here, and this, and we had a conversation about what something would look like in a high school setting. So after that conversation, I got thinking, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna challenge Matt, because Matt always is up for a challenge. And I brought him back in, and I said, here's what I want you to do. I'm gonna give you about 3 weeks, and I want you to write something for this ensemble. This ensemble right here. You play in this ensemble, you know what their strengths are, you know what their weaknesses are. So lo and behold, 3 weeks later, he came back and he did write a composition, and this is the composition that he came up with. It was a really interesting process. I hope for him and as well for me, we went back and forth and talked about, again, more of those realistic things. We put it in front of the ensemble about 2 months ago, and I am super proud to say that this is the world premiere of Melancholic Winds, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoy. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. One more round of applause for Matt. We are going to conclude the concert band portion of this program with a composition titled Albany Fanfare. This was actually the first piece I put in front of the ensemble in January. And once again, we were reflecting today during the dress rehearsal how far this ensemble has come since then. This, like I said, we've been working on this the most. We actually kind of buttoned this up about 3 weeks ago and then went on to other material that was just a touch more challenging. And now coming back to it, it's like, they definitely can just read this down. I am so proud of this ensemble from where they started, and we reflected a little bit earlier where we started in October and where they are now. It's like night and day. So thank you so much. On behalf of the concert band, we really appreciate your support. This is Albany Fanfare. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not aware, this is the Memorial Symphonic Band. This ensemble is comprised of juniors and seniors, and this is a result of the concert ensemble. I believe this is the third year we have split the bands, or the fourth year that we split the bands. So ultimately, the under ensemble, the concert band, is really just to kind of morph and making sure that they have all the fundamentals together. We talked a little bit about that when the concert band is, and this is the end result of that. We have an opportunity to do higher level literature. We learn things a little bit quicker so we can do more complex material, which is a result of that first composition, Yankee Fanfare. The second piece on our program is a composition titled Cajun Folk Song. It was written by a gentleman. His name is Frank Ticelli, an American composer. And truth be told, I have been dying and itching to do this piece for a very, very, very long time. It's been just enticing me inside our library, and every 2 or 3 years I pull this composition out and I'm like, all right, let's see if we can sight read it. Let's see if we can sight read it. And we turned the page into January, this past January, and I did the same exact thing. I needed something to work on, and I put it in front of the ensemble. Honestly, expecting the same result. All right, I gotta put it away, and I gotta wait a few more years. I was blown away with the way that they sight read this piece. And I said, that's it, we're doing it. We're doing it this year. I am super, super excited because that takes this ensemble into the next level. They have just eaten this material up, and I am so excited for you to hear this piece. So once again, this is Frank Ticelli's Cajun Folk Song. This is in 2 movements, just as an audience etiquette. I know you would typically applause after a movement or a composition is over. Let's wait for the end of the composition. So at the end of the second movement, that's when we'll do our huge, huge round of applause for these wonderful musicians on the stage. So we hope you enjoy. Wow. I've wanted to do that for a really long time. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Before we leave, I almost forgot this, and I'm so sorry. There are a few people that we do have to recognize inside this ensemble. There are roughly 28 individuals that have been with this ensemble through thick and thin. The last 4 years, can we say, have been very, very, very interesting. And they stuck with it. It's been really, really hard. And the fact that they did this and they bounced back, I can't thank you enough for that. I do want to take a second and recognize the seniors, the class of 22. If you are a senior, can you please, please, please stand up and thank you. I'm just going to say it again. I mean, I would have never imagined that we could do something like that and just put on this concert. If we were even a year and a half ago, it was tough, and music is alive, and it's here, and we love it, and I hope you enjoy it. Please, please continue to support the arts, not only here in Jackson, but in your community and for the rest of your lives, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy the rest of the school year. On behalf of myself, Mr. Ficara, Mr. So, wherever, oh no, he's on stage. For Mr. So, we thank you. Have a safe ride home. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the school year, everybody. Have a great night.